What's up, guys? It's your girl, Jeanette Claudette, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Let's jump in and talk about your new single, True.
Yes.
You have worked with Rico Love before. You came back.
Yeah.
You came back to him for this track. What is it about Rico that got you wanting to come back?
So I met Rico in 2010. I was working on an album at Motown at the time, and I did a lot of that project with him. It never came out, but I built a relationship with him, and I just realized really early that he is just so good at taking a story and just like elevating the hell out of it and just like turning it into like a movie basically. And so me and him clicked like right away, and I always kept in contact and always called him for projects. So when it came time to work on this new project, I was like, Rico, I'm coming to Miami. Okay, I'm coming to Miami. And so
That was an excuse.
oh yeah, I was like, I need a vacay, and let's just make some good music at the same time. So I went, and like 10 seconds into that session, he had said, great martini, blue bikini, Lamborghini, right out that little part. And I was just like, this is my single. I was like, this is my single. I was like, I felt the vibe. Everybody in the room was like in such good spirits that day. It was such a dope like session. So yeah, I knew it.
It was just meant to happen. That's what it was.
Meant to happen. Meant to happen. And so we worked really hard over the last year to finally get it out. And I'm just so happy it's finally here.
Now, 2010 was the last time that you worked with him on a record?
No. So I did that with him, and then in 2014 I did an indie album called Tainted Emotions.
Okay.
And I had a song called Better Love on there that I was obsessed with, that I had just done with August Rigo, and I felt like it was missing something. So he was doing an artist project at the time, and I was just like, you know what, let's just get Rico to rap on it. So I called him, and he jumped on it, and he killed it. It's still one of my favorite songs till this day. And literally I was just in the studio with him here in Malibu like a week ago.
Nice.
Like a week ago, because he calls me up all the time whenever he needs me to sing like on something he's doing, and vice versa. Right. Like we just always like call each other. Yeah, we really call each other. We respect what our artistry and what we do. So yeah, the line's always open.
Right. Now, what is it about True that this is the single that you wanted to release today, like now?
I just felt like it was such a fun song. Like I felt like it had such a good beat, and it was such a good vibe, but at the same time I felt like it had a classic energy about it. So I didn't think it was going to be a record that was going to be here today and gone tomorrow. Right. I felt like it was going to be one of those like songs that made you do this in your car, but that you could play 5-10 years from now at the same time. So I just was like, this was it. And at the time, like I'd taken a good chunk of time off to work on the project, and I just wanted to come back with something like fun and light, but that still was true to who I am.
Right. And as a songwriter, like how that's right.
That happens to me all the time now, like, because I naturally say true. Yeah, true for everything. So now when
promotion.
It's
just like, promotion. That's what it is.
I'm plugging it, and I'm really not.
I think you thought about that before releasing the single. But as as a songwriter, and as you mentioned right now, like you wanted to have a song that is timeless, in a sense. So how much harder is it to create something like that, and how do you know that when you create it, how do you know that's it?
I think it's just a gut feeling, really. Like I don't think there's really like a formula to it whatsoever. There are songs that just stick and that feel so good. Like for me, like, do you remember like the whole Murder Inc. era in like early 2000s? Like those R&B songs, like like those R&B songs, you don't forget them, and they were fun like songs, right? There's no like real deep but it's still a song that you can turn on today. I was just listening to a 2000s playlist upstairs literally right now, and it's just like songs like that are the songs that I love, and I just want my work to always kind of embody that, something that people can always go back to when they need to be in a good mood.
So because that's kind of what you want, I'm assuming like you're very specific with the kind of producers you work with, Rico being one of them. Your last single was with The Stereotypes. So it's like how different is it collaborating with a team like The Stereotypes as opposed to someone like Rico?
Well, The Stereotypes also are like some really good friends. Some of the people that I first met when I came to LA for the very first time, and they've always just kind of like been friends first, and then collaborators second. So we made Twisted for the project, and they were just so supportive. They were like, yo, every day I would go to the studio and they'd be like, you got to put that song out, man. Like, what's up? You got to put it out. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, like, forget it. Let's put it out. And it was such a good lead into True, and I kind of had that plan mapped out in my head already, because like with this project, I was trying to be really strategic with how we put the music out, and I felt like Twisted was such a great lead into True. But yeah, I think for the most part, it's just people who you vibe with. Like for me, like I want to go into the room with a producer and feel like we can hang out even before we write a song or do anything like that. So yeah,
get the most real out of you, right?
Yeah, for sure. So with like The Stereotypes, it's like that, and August is like, I've been working with August for like 7-8 years now. It's like that with Rico. It's like that. We don't have like too many people that we collaborate with. It's just an energy, yeah.
Now, do you guys ever like get like the three of them get together to work on a track? Is that something that you've ever considered?
Well, August worked on True with me and Rico, and August also worked on Twisted with me and the Stereotypes. So August is the common denominator. But yeah, that would be amazing. I would never, ever, ever be opposed to that. Like, I just love them as people, and so if we were all in a room together, I know it would be crazy.
Now, what is this project that you're working on? You're working on an album? You're working on an EP?
Both. So I'm working on
two at once.
Yeah, well, for me, like music for me is like the easy part. Like, I love music. I create it all the time. Right. Like, even if I'm like traveling and I'm in a room, like I'm always writing, I'm always working on stuff. So I just want to be like, you know, like with the songs like at a strip club, like I just want to get them out there. And so that's why we have such a large amount of music now. Right. So I think I'm going to release an EP first, probably at the end of the summer, and then I'm going to tag on the rest of the music and do a full length at the end of the year. Okay, so since you're doing both projects at the same time, like, how do you know what's going for the EP and what's going to the album? Like, how do you distinguish? You know, it actually worked out for this because for me, my music is very R&B rooted. It has like R&B and hip hop, but it also has pop tones. Like, and when I say that, I just mean like those like really nostalgic chords that and those melodies that just stick, you know. So I think the first half of it is more like R&B leaning, and then the second half kind of like starts to teeter and like blur the line a little bit. And I think that ended up being perfect for this because I could take the first half and kind of introduce myself, you know, with that foundation of just being really an R&B rooted girl because I grew up on 90s R&B and early 2000s R&B, like I told you, and then kind of showing people on the full length album that there's a little bit more to me than just that. And do you feel like it's hard to bring that kind of sound back today? I feel like we don't get to listen to that as much these days, which is ridiculous. I know, it's crazy because I think that's the best era of music ever. But I think it's coming back, like with Ella Mai. With your album? Like killing it with my album. You know, you're good. See what I mean? That's good. I'm being true here. You look at me, I'm like with my True necklace. I'm like I'm so extra. She's not promoting at all. I'm not promoting at all. It's true. Yeah, I think it's coming back with the Ella Mai record and with just like all the R&B artists that are doing their thing, like Kehlani and SZA and her. I just think it's a really good time for R&B, and like for me, this is maybe the 9th or 10th year professionally that I've been kind of like on the grind, and we're just getting the music out. So it's been like a really long grind, and I'm glad that the time is now and it's finally being received by the people because I think people miss it. And so I agree. Like there was one artist in particular, Tinashe, who like she was such a great artist for that, and it's unfortunate how long it took for her project to finally come out. And you know, part of me always wondered if it was because it wasn't the right time. Yeah, I think so. I think that just like I don't know if it's just like a meant to be when it's meant to be kind of thing, but I just feel like now people just miss that. I feel like the soul in music hasn't necessarily been there for a really long time, and I feel like people, been too much mumbling. Yeah, it's just been a lot of stuff, like a lot of other stuff, and I just feel like people miss that nostalgic feeling, or those songs that make them feel like in love, or that help them get through a heartbreak. Like I feel like people miss real like deep shit in a song, and so I think that's why R&B is kind of just making its way back. And there's also a whole new group of artists that are kind of giving it that fresh new vibe, so it's not like the same, you know. True. Plus, you're kind of a, oh man, damn. Plus, you're kind of like you're an East Coast and a West Coast girl. Yeah, I'm an East Coast girl. Look at this. Look at this tattoo. I do not play. I am an East Coast girl all the way. The other arm's gonna have LA next time. No, what like one palm tree, or the Hollywood side? Yeah, there you go. Well, I've been here for a year now, so I guess like I'm starting to finally get settled in. But I go home once a month because I just need that New York energy back in my like spirit. I need it. Right. But do we hear fully New York sound on your music? Do we hear a mixture of LA and New York? Like, does that even make a difference in your music? I don't know if it makes a difference. I think in terms of like the New York sound, I feel like it's not a sound. It's like a vibe. I think it's a vibe. Like people, like when you walk into a room, people kind of know when you start talking where you're from. Like if you're from New York specifically, because we're so extra, we talk super fast, we're super intense. But yeah, so I think it's more just like of a vibe when you listen to it. I don't really know what the West Coast. What is the West Coast sound feel? I guess it's more gangster in a way, right? Maybe, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm definitely New York all day till the death of me. Now, tell me more about this like project that you're working on. Like, your writing process. I know you're a writer for other artists as well. Yeah. Like, but you know, when you come down to
to sit down and work on your music, like what is that kind of vibe like? I know you play guitar. Does the guitar, play a role with your songwriting? Like, what is that like?
It always has. I mean, with the guitar, I picked it up when I was like 11 or 12 because I got so tired of like singing other people's songs, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write my own songs. And then I was like, dang, I don't have any beats. Like, where am I gonna get a beat at 11 years old? So I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna start playing guitar.
I wish I had that mentality.
you gotta get it. You gotta do it yourself. So that definitely plays a part in my songwriting. But I don't create like a separation like writing for me, writing for other people when I go in a room, because I've always been an artist. And even being a songwriter, I'm only a songwriter because I'm an artist, because I'm a singer by default. Right. So I don't ever think about those things. When I go in to write a song, I just go in to express whatever the hell it is that I'm feeling that day. And in terms of like songwriting, sometimes it's like, all right, you know what, well, I don't connect to this that much, but this could be cool for. And it kind of just happens that way. And then there are some artists that I'm just like good friends with, and I respect their talent so much that I'll like go and like sit and write and create because I love their vibe and their energy. Like Her is one of them. I write with her a lot, and she's just such a good person and a good friend of mine. So people like that, like sitting in with them is so dope because you get to take away something from that experience too,
So what did you take away from her, for example?
She's just so talented. Like, she's just so talented. She's so bright, and she's been doing this for so long, and her ideas are they're so dope, and it's just like, it's cool to just bounce ideas off of her. It's like, it's always a good vibe. Yeah.
Now, one that kind of like, it seemed left field for me because I thought this specific genre was very specific on who they work with as far as like songwriters go, but you work with a K-pop artist. And that, I mean, that's amazing because they're so particular with what they do and how they do it. So what was that like?
So funny. Like, I go where the wind blows too. Like, you should know that about me. So like, I'll get random calls. Like one time I was like eating like Chinese food somewhere in Toronto, and I got a call from one of my friends, Mike Woods, who is part of Rice and Peace, who do a lot of really dope music. They did Mine for Bazzi, that's like killing it right now. He called me, and I hadn't spoken to him in maybe like a year or two, and he called me. He was just like, yo, I'm going to Korea next month. You want to come write some K-pop? And I was like, what? I was like, okay, cool. So I went, and we just wrote songs that we loved, and then obviously they get translated later. But it's crazy, like their appreciation for the structure of a song, and like and for R&B, and for melodies, and for harmonies, and for bridges. Like, who does bridges anymore? It's so crazy. Like, they have
what are those? What are those?
They have so much respect for just like the format of a song, and so that was a really cool experience for me to go there and have to think more as a structured songwriter than as just me like going in like to do my thing. It was more like they came in, they gave their direction, and we kind of just like pieced together the thing, and it came out so cool. Like, it's 2 songs on Taeyeon's new album that just came out. She's like a huge K-pop star out there, so such a dope experience for me.
So the thing about K-pop is I was recently with a couple of the major K-pop artists that are just like everywhere today, and one of my main questions was like, when they do songs like here, for example, hip hop songs, they're so gangster and like talk about this and that, right? But back over there, like when they do hip hop songs, it's so cheesy and like lovey-dovey type.
Funny,
so
like,
is that something you kind of had to do?
No, the cool thing is that lyrics don't matter in this case. They really don't, because that the song's gonna be translated, and the song wasn't. It's not a literal translation either. It's like
the idea.
It's
damn.
I'm never gonna let it down. It is, but it is. It's never a literal translation. So like, let's say I'll write a song called like, what does it say? Like Front Row Live, and they'll change it to like Beach House. Like that'll be the translated version, and but they take the melodies and they take the format of the song. So yeah, I didn't have to think too much about that. I kind of was just like, yeah, whatever, they're gonna change them anyway, so cool. And I was able to like even write parts of the song where I was like, you know what, that's actually really dope. I'm gonna keep those lyrics, place them here for now, and then just write another song later.
That's awesome. Now you have a show coming up.
Yes, I'm so excited
with Caesar.
Yes, Daniel Caesar.
You just met Daniel not that long ago, from what I saw. I'm trying. So did you meet him because you were in the studio with him, or?
No, I was at Her's birthday party like about a week and a half ago, and he was there. Obviously, they collaborated on that song, and they're really good friends. So he was there, and I was just like, yo, I was like, what's up? I was like, I'm opening up for you in Phoenix in about 2 weeks, and he was just like, oh, that's really dope. I'm looking forward to it. We just like talked really briefly, and I was like, I'll see you at the show. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's my first radio show, and just to be opening up for somebody like him, who I like respect so much his artistry and his music. I'm excited. And Kiana Ledé's doing it too. She's amazing as well.
Especially because he's still a new artist.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still like barely getting to know him and stuff like that. So I think it's a good time for both of you.
I agree. And I think it's just really cool because I think our music, maybe like our fan base will kind of like cross over because he's very R&B, the guitar, and like I'm R&B and guitar too. So I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be really cool.
Now, what is a live show like for you? What can fans expect?
There's so many levels to it. It's funny because like going back to my very last statement about me like playing guitar and stuff, it's so not just that. You know what I mean? Like I like to really read a room. And so if I feel like the vibe today is going to be like, yo, let me just sit down with my guitar and like to have a real intimate moment with people, it's that. But then I also like dance. I grew up as a dancer. All my really close friends are dancers. So there's a lot of dancing. It's like high energy because there's songs like True and songs like Better Love that have so much energy. And then there's like ballads and slower music that I can sit down and be chill with. So there's levels to it. And I think that that's dope and that it's like necessary now because I just don't want to be like, you know.
Now I can't remember the name of the song, but you had a piano ballad on a previous record.
Loving You Blind.
Yes, yeah. That one.
That's my piano ballad.
How different is it to create a song like that as opposed to everything else that you do?
I wrote that song when I was like 14 or 15.
That was your first song, okay.
So
all right.
I wasn't. It took a couple. I had really like bad songs in the vault. Trust me, from like being 12, like writing songs about breakups. Like, what did I even know about a breakup when I was 12? Like, who broke my heart?
I thought he was the one. I thought we were gonna get married.
Oh, that song was totally all that. It was me at like 14 and 15, all in my field. I was totally in love with my downstairs neighbor at the time. That was like the whole spiel of that song. But
is he still there?
No, I have no idea where he is. So that song, I held on to it for so long. I held on to it the whole time I was at Universal Motown. It was supposed to be on that album. That album never came out. And so when I did the indie project in 2014, I was like, it needs a ballad. Like, it needs something like really heartfelt. And that song, it just never left. Like, it never left me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this song and I'm going to do it. And I get hit up about that song all the time still. Still all the time, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. Like, it came on when I was driving earlier, and I was like, this one's different. Like, and I think that's what I like about it, that it is different. Like, I feel like artists want to keep a certain structure, but like I like it when you change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that, like, I don't know. I used to be really like that. I think it's just the amount of time that I've had to kind of figure out who it is that I want to be and what it is that I want to say and how I want to do it, that I don't put so much effort into like thinking about like that, like, oh, I don't want to switch up the sound too much, or I don't want to do it. Like, I really go off of feeling now. Like, I think that that's missing and it's so important. And I listen to my gut a lot. And so when I'm in a session and I do a song that makes me really feel something, and maybe somebody else in the room who's part of the team is like, yeah, but does this go with it? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's about how I feel. Yeah, it's about how I'm feeling. And that's just how I do it now.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations with all that's going on. I can't wait to hear the EP and the album.
I'm so excited. There's so many like different like good songs on there. It's been a really long time since my last indie project. So I've been like, I feel like in hiding, just working on the music, and now I'm just so ready to get it out there, and I'm really ready to go on the road and perform, because that's my favorite thing to do.
You should, and you need to do something here in LA. I mean, even back here, we'll set it up. Like,
I know, right?
You got the light show and everything.
Right? I just got to bring my little guitar here. Like, the little lights here are so cute at night. Yeah.
So far, sounds what?
We should.
Well, thanks for hanging out. I mean, you guys, for those that haven't checked her out, I mean, why should they go ahead and check out your music? What's so different about you?
I just feel like anyone that listens to my music is going to feel like they got like a homegirl in their corner, you know, to kind of listen to whatever it is that they're going through and have someone who can relate. And that's it. Like, I don't try to go too deep into it. I just feel like it's a vibe, it's a feeling, and it's an energy. And when you listen to it, you can kind of decide how you feel about it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. You will love it. Check it out. New single's out now. It's called True.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching here. I'm hanging out with Jeanette Claudette, and click that subscribe button.
Yeah.